Hello everybody, this is Jib and welcome to the F1 track tier list. Now before we get underway with the actual video, I'd like to say a couple of disclaimers. First of all, this is my opinion. This is based off, one, how the tracks feel to drive and how they look in the F1 games, and two, how races have gone there in the past. The second disclaimer is that, this is my opinion. It doesn't, of course, contribute to anyone else's views or anything like that. It's not meant to offend anyone. It's just a light-hearted video. Anyway, let's get on with it. So, the first track here is Abu Dhabi. Now, I don't want to kick things off on a bad note, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to, because Abu Dhabi is rubbish. It's boring, it's uninteresting. The only thing good about it is that it was host to some decent, championship deciders, but other than that, it's a rubbish track. It's boring to drive and uninteresting in most cases, so it goes in rubbish. Australia is the closest track to home, of course, me being from New Zealand, and apart from having to restart career mode every 5 minutes and replay this track over and over, I don't really care for it. I mean, it's a good track and there have been some good races. I mean, 2009 definitely was, but it doesn't really do anything for me. I'm going to put it in bit meh. Austria. Now, Austria is my favourite, probably my fastest track on the F1 games, and up there, near my favourites. It always produces, a decent race. Well, not always, but most of the time. In 2019 Austria, with Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc dueling it out, that was really good racing, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in great. Azerbaijan is another one. Where the track is probably one of the few good new tracks to come into Formula 1. It's weird because at some points Azerbaijan has some of the best racing on the calendar, Lance Stroll's podium in 2017 and all that chaos, and then other times it can be really bloody boring, like 2016, the inaugural Azerbaijan Grand Prix, as I recall, was a pretty uninteresting affair. So I'm torn. I like to drive the track in F1 2019, so I'm going to put that in great. Bahrain, it's another meh. It doesn't really stand out. I can't think of any races off the top of my head that were memorable, so I'll put that in a bit meh. It doesn't stand out. It's not amazing. It's nothing special, if you know what I mean. Now, Belgium's straight and awesome. It's fantastic. Brilliant circuit. It's got so much history, Spa-Francorchamps. There's still like a hint of the dangerous past of the circuit, but it's a brilliant circuit. I really enjoy racing it in the game, and it always produces some good racing, like Häkkinen's overtake the Schumacher in, I think it was 2000. So yeah, that goes on awesome. Brazil, another great track to drive, really enjoyable. I'm going to go ahead and put that in great because, of course, it's also the battleground for Is That Clock, which I've really enjoyed. Britain is a very storied track in Formula 1 history. Of course, the first F1 race was held at Silverstone, if I recall correctly. And as a track, I would say it would be good. I don't really enjoy the track, but it's a fun one to drive. However, the racing there is usually really good with the rain, so I'm going to put it in good for now, but that's definitely one that could change. Canada, always some good racing, pretty interesting most of the time. I'm going to put that straight in the great category. China, I don't like. It's just boring. It doesn't interest me at all, at all. It's boring to drive. The races are usually quite sort of bland, so that's going straight in rubbish. France, God. Nope. You go there. I refuse to talk about France. I will not discuss France. Hungary. It's a very technical circuit, very tight. There have been some really good battles. You had, I think it was 2010 with Schumacher and Barrichello. Of course, my hero Jenson Button won his first race there in 2006. I personally don't really like the track, but I can see why it appeals to people, so I'll put it in good. Italy, Monza, the Temple of Speed. The fastest lap in Formula 1 history was recorded here by Kimi Räikkönen in 2018. And just because I enjoy driving it and because, you know, it's got such a storied history, I think it has to go in awesome. The bloody web page isn't scrolling properly. Anyway, Japan, straight and awesome. My favourite track. Brilliant. You know, you had Kimi Raikkonen 2005, absolutely fantastic. You've had Senna and Prost 89, 90, 91. Just some brilliant races there. It's an incredibly fun track to drive, almost like a roller coaster. Mexico, it's a good track. It's not a complete bore fest, but at the same time, it's late in the season, so usually Hamilton's wrapping up the championship here, and it's not really an interesting race. So I'll put it in a bit meh. Monaco is a really contentious one between people. You know, you either love it or you hate it. I love the history. I love the circuit. It's probably F1's most famous circuit, the Monaco Grand Prix. But as a track, I don't really like driving it. It's fun as a technical challenge, but there's no overtaking, and I think I'm going to put it in just good, because, yeah, it's sort of a middle ground. If, you know, it was just purely based on racing and history, it would be straight and awesome. If it was just purely based on how to drive, it would be either bit meh or rubbish, so I'm going to put it in the middle. Netherlands, so Zandvoort. Now, this is based off what I've done driving it in, like, Assetto Corsa and videos I've seen, and it looks to be a fun track. Of course, it received some backlash because Codemasters didn't exactly replicate it properly, but, well, these things happen, so I think it'll be a good track. I look forward to seeing it in 2021. Russia, boring races, not a really interesting track, goes straight in rubbish. Singapore is weird because it's in the midpoint, just after the midpoint of the season, so there's usually some good races, but some real boring ones. I enjoy driving the track, but it's not really a favourite of mine, so I think it'll go in good. Spain, I really don't like. It's not fun to drive. The racing is usually quite good there, though. I'll put it in a bit meh. USA, instantly crap. I hate USA. I'm not bothered. Vietnam, from the gameplay footage, looks, shall we say, completely boring and uninteresting and the most Tilkedrome track in existence. So I think I will put it in rubbish. And that's been it. That was the tier list for today. So thank you guys for watching this, sort of filler video, and I apologise if my commentary was a bit stuttery and stoppery. But thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.